Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Webcomic Book Club podcast. I'm Zay,
I'm Mech,
and this week we are talking about Two Guys and Guy.
aka TwoGaG.
Yes, which I only realized not too long ago that was kind of a joke in and of itself.
Yeah,
Was that on purpose?
I imagine.
I really hope that was on purpose. So, this is a kind of a different comic than the normal ones that we do on this show. This is a gag a day, gag a day comic is what they're generally referred to as, or something along those lines.
Basically, the characters are more important than the story ever will be.
Exactly. And it just becomes a case of you'd expect this to be in a newspaper or something, where it's just there's literally every day you open it up, there's a different joke in it.
Yeah.
This one was written by,
Rickard.
That's right. They don't have a full name on there, do they?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, because that was really confusing. Because normally I can find a lot of information on the artists themselves, other things they do. Not so much with this one. But
No?
I mean, but it doesn't seem like it's one of those where it's hey, check out all these other things I do. It really does seem like this is the majority of their work.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, it's beautifully done for how often it updates.
Yes, I am just dumbfounded consistently. It is a 3-a-week schedule, and it looks like something that would take me just a full week.
Yeah.
So they work a lot of time on this, and it is fantastic.
I think it's their full-time job.
I would fully believe it. I mean, it seems like they kind of started on a joke from what I've read.
Yeah. That being said, basically they put a little information down below the comic every time they update, and it's hard to tell when they're joking versus when they're not joking sometimes.
Yeah, it seems like if there's a couple paragraphs worth, then they're being serious, and other times it's there's just 2 or 3 jokes down there for no good reason other than there can be.
I imagine it's a case of these were other ideas I had for this comic. Or something along the lines.
Yeah. So before we kick off here, what did you think of the comic? You're the one who recommended this one in.
This comic was actually really fun for me. I found it back when I still could only use my phone for comics because I had no internet. And it basically was just I'd see it when it uploaded, I'd laugh, I'd show it off to friends. It was a fun comic. I enjoy it.
I really enjoyed this comic as well. The jokes were very consistently funny, and that is always good to see when that's pretty much what the comic exists for.
Yes.
Although I can't follow this. I cannot keep up with this.
No?
I found myself being really bitter to everyone I knew.
Oh, wow.
So this comic is 2 guys and Guy. It's 2 guys and their friend who's a girl whose name is Guy.
Who it's the ultimate tomboy, sort of.
Yeah, not
Tough girl.
Yeah, she doesn't weird tomboy.
Not tomboy, tough girl.
Yeah. And they're very mean to each other.
They are.
Their version of being friends is, oh man, you lost an arm. I mean, whatever. I'm eating a sandwich. I'll finish this first.
Yeah. In
So,
fact, I believe there's a comic where the punching bag character actually gets a friend who's actually friendly, or at least meets friends that are actually friendly, and he's so concerned because he doesn't know what's wrong with them.
yeah, I remember in literally perfect example of this is the punching bag character hands a suicide note to his cousin, who is this super friendly, ultimate friendly dude. And the suicide note literally says I'm just begging for attention, because he doesn't know how to ask someone how their day was, or how to start that conversation. He's not used to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really can't follow this because I worry that I'll start becoming bitter to people.
Now,
I don't know why.
I find that mainly the reason that I don't fall into that kind of trap is just it uploads 3 a week, and I read it with a lot of other webcomics that upload 3 a week, on the same days. So it's okay, this is just between these.
Yeah, and I guess I read over 600 pages of this in the course of 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, we should mention that. Like, we caught up to this comic.
Yes, we both completely caught up to it. I mean, you were already following it, but I started from the beginning.
I actually had been not following it for about a year.
Okay. Well, that's roughly 150 comics. So, yeah, that would take you a while. Yeah, I caught up completely from the beginning. So, over 600 pages. Yeah.
652 to be exact.
Well, that's what they're at now. I haven't followed it, and I haven't been reading it this week. Gosh.
Oh, fair enough.
Gosh, that's like a whole
649.
That's a whole 3 I haven't read. And speaking of like the 3-week schedule, they are really good at keeping that schedule.
Yeah?
Like astoundingly good, even to the point of like they left for vacation and they had a buffer of like other guest artists who work on the thing.
Oh, yeah, they get a lot of guest comic strips when they can't make time to do the comic strip themselves, which is really good. They don't just let the updates hang.
Exactly, and like it's amazing because that's a very, very tight schedule, like a 3-week schedule. So to get people who made comics for him for like an entire week, like a different comic artist to make 3 comic pages for him, like that's really impressive to manage.
Yeah, that like either the other comic artist is really, really fast with their comics, or that requires a lot of planning, which ironically does not like seem like this person at all. Like the artist kind of portrays themselves as just this like drunk, stupid hobo dude.
Yeah, the one time they ever were portrayed in the comic, they were literally homeless, sitting in a box, and they yelled at another homeless person.
Yeah,
it's so good. So ultimately, you know what? Did you put any other Gag-A-Day comics in the wheel?
I don't believe I did.
Okay. Because
they're hard to talk about.
They're very hard to talk about. Like, I would say once in a blue moon, if we find one that's really worthwhile, we'll throw it in.
Yeah.
But I really don't think there's...
For the most part, I threw this one in because it is one that's very entertaining to me, and I kind of wanted to see how good it was for the podcast.
Yeah, so... if you want to follow the artist on other websites and things like that, you can find their Patreon at TwoGaG, TWOGAG, or their Twitter at Drunken Novice, exactly as it sounds. What on earth is going on with their icon?
What do you mean?
Twitter. It is like that bird thing. It never showed up.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is that a self-portrait of them wearing a bird helmet?
Most likely.
Okay, just look it up, people. I was so confused. I thought I found the wrong Twitter handle somehow.
It seems to me that Rickard really enjoys what he does.
And that really shows because I enjoy what he does as well.
Yeah.
So, I guess with that... No, we can't spin the wheel this early.
No, it's been like, what, 8 minutes, 9 minutes?
Yeah. The issue is I have no notes.
Yeah, I'd say this experiment was a bit of a failure. Gag-A-Day doesn't give us enough content to talk about, even if there is more just flat out comic.
Actually, let's talk about the art a little bit.
All right.
Do you remember the art when it started?
Yes, it was a lot more like, I almost want to say action comic-y.
It was a lot more cartoony from what I could tell.
Yeah.
Like super large eyes. They were all slanted eyes too, which I thought was a little bit strange. Action comic is the best way to explain it. And then it's like kind of slowly went into its own style that it kept from there on out. Probably about like 150 pages it got. The style is actually a very, very entertaining style and one I really enjoy. What I find fascinating, though, is the characters at the beginning and the characters now. You can easily recognize who's who.
Yeah. The characters, while they have changed, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah,
basically.
There's a lot of identifying features that stay consistent. But one thing I love is Guy. Her like defining feature is pretty much her hair.
Pretty much, it's bright red and this swoopy.
Yeah, this is all described as a swoop forward. What I love, though, was for, like, I think 2 weeks straight, the art style for the hair was just like different styles because like they're at a beach, they're like doing all these things. So like her hair changed almost every single panel. And at the end of the 2 weeks, her hairstyle had actually like permanently changed a little bit.
It may have been a case that they were experimenting with different styles to have her hair in.
Yeah, but like you pointed it out in the description, it's like I've forgotten how to draw guys' hair.
I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, so it's weird that you read the descriptions as well, but I mean, they're not information descriptions; they're just more jokes.
Yeah, yeah. It it basically takes the comic and adds a one-liner at the end that you can read in the description.
All right, so I think with that, we should spin the wheel. I mean, unfortunately, there's not much else we can talk about. I mean, we
No.
experimented with this, so we know not to do a gag a day in the future. So, 2GAG is ironically going to be the only one gag here. So, spin the wheel. The comic this week will be House Pets.
Ooh!
So, this is one that we both were following, naturally.
And I still am following.
I do not still follow it, so this will be a great excuse for me to catch up. So, wonderful. If you want to find the comic yourself, it is housepetscomic.com. So, housepetscomic.com. I'll see you guys next week. Wait, before we go, what's a quick description of the comic? So, get people interested in reading this.
If pets were furries.
All right, that's a wonderful description. So, see you all then. Bye.